Welcome, 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 family. Family, thank you for returning again for another episode of Walking with a Master. And I have the awesome pleasure of having two tremendous masters in front of me. I tell you, this is the place to be. So if you know someone that is not here, you need to come on and let them know where you are and where they should be. Because we're here to have a wonderful time, a wonderful conversation with these two masters. Of course, last week you got an opportunity to hear Soke Lil John Davis as in rare form as always. And now we have another master. We have Imam AbuKarriem AbuKarriem here with us, Shabazz. And he is a master under doc as well. So please forgive me for the missing your saying your name improperly. I know I'll be doing some push-ups in a little while because of that. So welcome, everybody. Welcome you too.
Oh, glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you've been around quite some time, and we're happy to have you.
Yes.
Okay, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate
All right. Well, we're going to get started. We're going to get started, Master Shabazz, on just having our conversation as we normally have it, and we always talk about the root of the tree. We
That's
go
correct.
to the root of the tree, and the actual reason for this whole show is to respect and show our love for Dr. Moses Powell, Musawwir. It is our way of giving back and letting others know about this man that we had the pleasure of walking with. And even now, even though he's not physically present, we still walk with him because he placed himself, like he said, when he touched you, he said, if he touched you, he has you. So he has us. And I'm happy he has me. And I know you all are the same. So what I'd love to do is for you to kind of go to your roots. Where did you start? And then we can come on up to where Doc, where that connection and union with Doc came.
That addressed to me or to
yes, yes, that's to you, sir. That's to you. Everybody's looking for you right now.
Well, I tell you, I'm Muslim, so I have to give credit to Almighty God Allah for causing me to come into the Doc's life at a very early time. At that time, he didn't have a dojo. We were training in a school in Brooklyn. And I know Soke remembers that very well because he did a whole lot of training of us. It was, of course, it was style, the Sanuces style, and something that he created. But the person that he left in charge to make sure that it got done right was Soke Lil John. And so 3 or 4 nights a week, I would come from Harlem, where I've always lived, and drive out to Brooklyn to that school. I think it was PS 258 or junior high.
Macon Junior High School 258.
258, yeah, that's what it was. And we trained, and on hardwood floors, of course, didn't have any mats, as I remember. So we trained night after, well, at least 3 nights a week, and sometimes on the weekend. It was just a family affair with Doc, doing the teaching, the training, and inspiring. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time. And some of my best experiences was I had the responsibility. Oh no, that was when we came to One West. I was going to say that I had the responsibility and the privilege of driving Doc home back out to Brooklyn. But that was when we were in Harlem. We had a couple of places in Harlem. One was above the Apollo Theater upstairs. And then after that, we moved over to a very, very favorite spot of ours, number one. One was 125th Street.
Yeah.
And it was off Fifth Avenue, between Lenox and Fifth, but closer to Fifth. And the training there was tremendous. It was off the hook. And as usual, the one who was left in charge to get us in ship shape was Lil John Davis. It was just a time. We would give street fairs, and Musa, Doc, and Little John had us slapping out on the sidewalk, jumping over chairs and rolling out. I mean, it was just a tremendous time. We did not flinch. We just kept going. If Doc said this is what we had to do, that's what we had to do. And of course, the enforcer was there to make sure that it got done, and that was Lil John. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful time, and just shaped us real good. And I think the real essence became more profound when we moved to 1 West 125th Street. I believe Soke will bear witness to that. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. Very experiencing, full of training and coming together as a family. We were strong as a family unit, and whenever it was something for us to do, we did it as a family. We did it as a team. We did it as a body, and of course, Doc wouldn't have it any other way. It was just memorable. We really made our mark when it came to 1 West. That's when we began to do more activities outdoors and in the streets, and it was just a time where we just
the sound is fading a little bit. The sound's still fading a little bit.
It's still fading?
Yeah, you have to watch your speaker. Because I remember I was telling GM, because you remember both of us from youngsters. I know GM, he said when he saw your face, he said, "Now I remember." But I remember that you used to run Phase Piggy Bank as well, correct?
That's good. Piggyback, yes.
Piggyback.
Yeah, and that's when some of my connections with the dojo slacked off, because Phase Piggyback had a tremendous legacy to fulfill, of course, in Harlem, and dealing with drugs, which was going crazy in the early 60s in Harlem, and crime, and it was just a rough time. So we needed to be together as a family. But Phase Piggyback was a very vital part. In fact, we had a program at State Office Building, and Doc was invited Doc to be a part of that, and he accepted and gave a talk on the health program, health portion of the program, and it was a tremendous support. Yeah. So yeah, Phase Piggyback, and lasted over 40 years.
Yeah. So I know with Phase Piggyback, because we've been around, you're my uncle, so I'm saying the things that we went through. Doc had you teaching the kids. I have a picture of you. I want to send to GM.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
West, you was stepping. You wasn't playing. You was in motion, Jack. I gotta get that to GM.
Well, listen,
you have the
responsibility to lead that class. Of course, I had to step up.
Yeah,
I had to step up. It was just, it was a relationship that I treasured. And because, of course, it led me to, Lil John Davis.
Yeah.
Now Soke Lil John Davis.
Yeah.
It was a tremendous time of growth.
Yeah, because down at One West, we had Professor V, Doc came down, and we had a
That's
hot
right.
spot. People, I had Gary View was one of the video guys. He said Doc always tried to get him in the class. The first time he came by, he said he seen people flying over chairs, thrown all over the place. He said,
That's right.
He said, Doc said, when you coming to Jordan? He said, it's real quiet soon, but he tried to get out of there. People was hesitant to come down because he said, that's a crazy place, but that's how we work.
Oh, no, we made our mark.
Yeah.
And we were doing some outrageous things. But of course, listen, if Doc said do it, that's what we did. We did it.
Yeah. You made fifth on the Doc or sixth? You made fifth or sixth, right? Fifth. Because I know with you like Jim and I, we keep our thing very low key.
I wasn't.
They say, what color you? I say, I just train. But how long you been training? A long time. I don't tell them nothing. Can you show me something? Oh, never mind. Yeah, they don't ask no more.
It was one of the best experiences of my life, being a martial artist under Professor Moses Powell. It was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I was sharing with GM. I said that because you've been for years very low key and being family. So what he's doing, I felt it was a heavy input with your experience and your knowledge, that the things that you've been doing with Doc, because Doc touched a lot of people. But
yes, he did.
People, and that's why I say too with this here, all the people that he touched, supposed to be a family. Do you see it, GM? I don't see it. I said, do you see all the people that Doc touched is still called family? Do you see it? I see it.
Yeah, it's not solid. It's there, but it's not solid, and we just have to do more, and to solidify what we're doing now, just our being able to talk like this, okay, and see masters that have been with Doc in his heyday. You know what I mean? When that was going on, I mean, see, one of the things that I want this show to expose is that even though we have these issues and difficulties, we tend to think, Master Shabazz, we tend to think that the division is really created by us when we are we're not the ones who created this division. We're just the ones who to perpetuate the division that was
that is exactly that's the right word.
Before we even came on the scene. Yes. So we're acting out things now, and I want us, this is so that the younger ones that you all came before, you people should come and sit at your feet to listen to you, to hear you. See, that's the old African way. That's the old way. See, what happens is they divide, and they want to make the young ones think that they are the great ones. And I'm not talking about that they have to be young in age, but they're young in this art. And they're not looking to listen to you all. So we're presenting this so that they can hear, and we can constantly present to them. So that's what I would just say to that. But no, we're not seeing the unity and the love that should be shown, when we should be showing more love and unity so that we can have a better system, a better family, if you will, if that makes sense.
You're totally on target. You're totally on target. When the Doc's name is mentioned in any martial arts environment, people want to swoon and throw accolades at him, and which of course he deserves and all that. But what you, Grandmaster and Soke, what you both are saying is exactly what is the problem with us. We're paying a lot of lip service to the art. We're paying a lot of lip service to Doc, but it has to be much more. It has to be emphasized stronger, so that the spirit of what Sanuces was all about is maintained, and the spirit of that his teacher, Professor V, what they brought to us, that needs to be respected, that needs to be appreciated, and it needs to be advocated. And it's not happening. And you both have made this point in your previous podcast, and you're making it again today. We just have a lot more work to do, but like an old friend of mine would say, better well done than well said. Yeah, that's right. Better well done than well said. And so we're good at talking. We're good at bringing issues before us, but we need to have got to put some meat on the bones.
Yes.
That's it. We got to put some meat on the bones.
A lot of people, lip service is more than anything, but
yeah. I mean, we're very good. You know, we know we're good people.
We just lost him, and I believe it was his signal that was having some issues, the Wi-Fi. So, but we'll continue while he's maybe coming back. So, you know, so okay, what happens is we were just mentioning about have a lot of talk, but you know, that's what happens when you're not trying to fight. You know, not really trying to present. And when I say fight, this is not a calling for a fight. We're talking about fighting for unity. You see, that's what we have to do. We can't talk that in the background and say stuff. We got to do things that is going to bring us together. So that's what our intention is. You know, I did get a call from a brother, and I appreciated his call coming to me, and he was suggesting some things. In fact, it was today, but he was suggesting some things that we could do, and he was suggesting the kind of things that bring us together. And he suggested getting on a podcast, and I said, well, no, not the podcast. What we'll do is we need to go into the room first, and when we go into the room, you know, and hash out what we need to hash out, then we'll come out of the room and then go to the podcast and show our unity like that, you know. So that was something that was mentioned by someone today, because he felt our conversation, Soke, from a previous week, and he's not even a part of it. He just felt like he wanted to suggest something, and even offered himself as someone that could help in this situation.
You're gonna laugh, because I got a call too from one of the students. I was like, GM is working. Oh, Soke, how you doing? How's everything going? Who's this? I said, okay, fine. I said, you know, the epidemic going on, whatever. I said, you know, I hope you're focusing on what we taught you, what we embedded into you, that you trained in. And people are really, even upper ranks, fading away from the training.
Sure.
And yeah. I'm like, this is a therapy. This is medicine. That's why, like this morning, like I told you, I got up this morning. Sometimes your body's like, you got to say, undo that. You get it when you're working out. Do your workout, do what you have to do. I did my work, and then in the garage, I did one part, and then the other, and I went, but I have a certain number. Some of the people, I'm going to do 200 push-ups or whatever. get to 50. I do the next other part tomorrow. That ain't working out. That's a joke. You fooling yourself. If you're going to come in and you're going to do something for you, I do it. Like I did my work this morning. There's a certain lapse I said I would do. But when I pull off a plant, I have, of course, again, ask the plant, can I borrow some of you? I pop it. When I pop it, what amount leaf that I have, that's 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, I have to do it because it's not the plant. So, but it's good. After you work out, and I like early workout. Some people work out afternoon after work. The best way, say your prayers, get up, get your workout, do your hour, 2 hours workout, done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your temple. You treated your body right. But if you procrastinate and you cheat, who's it hurting? I ain't hurting GM if I don't do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know, that's why I said for our upper ranks, they should know what they have to do. If they don't come on Zoom, which I don't understand why, but I'm not going to get into that. You teaching, I'm teaching. And you know what they need to do? This is what we got to do. We got to get in touch with Chuck Nard to the blonde hair, blue eyes. I bet you we get some people coming on, maybe. You got to GM, I don't know. Because I don't know, you know, but anyway, but people have to really start queuing in. And we lost a good brother. I mean, we just lost, I know by Monroe Mara. What's his proper name, Uncle?
Abdul Musawwir.
Musawwir.
Abdul Musawwir.
Yes,
Tremendous. Tremendous martial artist.
Speak about him a little bit.
Well, I tell you, at Faye's Piggyback, we used to go around different parts of the community, giving we call them street fairs. We would advocate for lead poison testing. We would have tutorials for schools and things like that. And always was a part of it was some kind of physical activity, which most of the time was martial arts. Right. And that's when I first met him. We gave an affair up in the Bronx, and Monroe Mara, which Abdul Musawwir, gave this tremendous demonstration of martial arts, of fitness and sturdiness and ability. He was just awesome. I mean, the word awesome, I don't even like to use that word, but for him, it's very, very applicable. He was, he had a class, he had a school at that time, and one of the students, little guy, who was Lamar Thornton. Yeah, so that's when I first met Lamar Thornton through Monroe Mara. That was his teacher. And over the years, he just continued to perfect his craft, his skills, and he became a Tai Chi master. I mean, a master in the Tai Chi. They couldn't touch him. I do remember once when our school, the school of Dr. Moses Powell, we had an event at Madison Square Garden, and somehow or other, Monroe Mara got paired with Lil John Davis. It was something to behold. I mean, it was just unbelievable. The talent that came out of these two men, they left nothing to be desired.
Yeah, he was also with the dojo, you too. He trained with us also. He's come down to the dojo.
Who's that?
Monroe. He used to work out with us. He used to come to the dojo.
Must have been those days when I was absent.
Yeah, but he and because he was first Shotokan. I think it was Shotokan that he did first.
Yes, that's correct.
And then he went to, but he really, but you can see people that when they don't stay at one level, they grow, and you can see the improvement in people. Like GM, you look at GM, you look at myself, other folks, you can see the growth.
Yes.
People, meaning that they become supposedly more humble, supposedly a true martial artist. You know, all this, I put a supposed because it doesn't happen sometimes.
No.
Right. When they say the word Bushido, that means a lot to me.
Yes.
You know.
And you're right. He as he became more proficient in his skills, he did become more humble, more soft-spoken, but he's well, like yourself, or just like GM, man. Don't mistake that for some kind of weakness. Being humble and being reserved and being kind and polite, being respectful. I mean, those are signs of really, if you got it together, those are signs where somebody with any sense just better beware.
We have a quiet walking bomb. Don't light that fuse. It's like,
yeah, I'm telling you. And so he'll be missed. But he perfected his craft.
And my prayers go out to the family.
I remember him the first time I seen him do the kung fu style.
Yes.
And he was in a Tai Chi. It was at a tournament actually. And I had not seen him doing that. I mean, I had seen him before in the hard, karate style, but I had not seen him in the kung fu. It was incredible. I had not seen anyone.
That's right.
To perform in that kind of way, where he showed it was fluid, but when it was impact time, it was times of impact, and it was just awesome. I mean, it was more than what you saw in the movies.
For sure.
And it was. I mean, I just was blown away by that, and actually wanted to get some of that from it. It was just great. It was great.
Spoken like a wise man. Well, you recognize genius, you recognize talent.
Yeah, it's good when
that was one of the things that the doctor always talked to us about, and how we were different from the Shotokan groups. When all that hard stuff and breaking up this, breaking up that. No, the doc said, no, we gotta finesse this thing off, And it was so beautiful to see him as huge as he was and as heavy as he was, how he could move so lightly. It was just watching him was going to a class in itself. If he didn't work out, you would learn so much by watching him. The humbleness, he was just, oh man, I could talk about him all day long.
What age was Doc when you met him, Monk?
Oh man, no, he was a young man because he was younger than me. So, gee whiz.
And you knew me for a long time.
He couldn't have been more than 35, 36, maybe younger.
He wasn't that old.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe younger. I'm not.
He was much younger. Yeah.
He had to be younger. You're right.
I never looked at his age. I know now they talk about age. I look at him as a father image. I was like a little kid sucking on.
I hear that.
Me, but I never look at age. I look at him as a father, a heavy father.
Yes.
And then, in my mind, Set was to represent who he is and what we do.
Yes.
These tournaments didn't like us because they say, Doc say they got 2 legs, take a leg out, they go. Simple as that. We get to a class, we throw them out. One guy got into the class, grab him. What happened? They say, forget, don't grab us, But this is what we do.
Yeah. And Soke, I know you remember for a while, Doc wouldn't want us to participate in those tournaments.
No.
That's right.
No. That was definitely not a part of
the only thing with that, Uncle, is this. I, as GM too, we just love to fight, but we want to let us show you what we got.
I have to sneak and do it.
I'm GM. I don't think he used to come to none of the tournaments, not too often. I don't think.
Sir?
Doc used to never came to too many tournaments.
After you done broke him in and all of that,
he
didn't want to come. He didn't want to come, or didn't come, but he did come to a few. Like he came to 2 that I can recall. I don't want to say with me because there was always something like the one that he came to with me, he was also, you know, they wanted Doc there. If he came, you know, Doc was gonna make some money.
That's tough.
Yeah,
you walk in the door, you go, say hello. Get the envelope first and then say hello. You know?
So I remember. So he was sitting over with me, and I was at that competition, and you know, so he was there with me, and because I remember asking him something that, you know, bothered me, because, you know, one of the things that, you know, I know I didn't want to be a coward, and I remember having the butterflies in my stomach, and I'm like, you know, and I'm like tired of this. I'm like, so I asked him, I said, Doc, I got to ask you a question. And he leaned up off of the, he was leaning on the wall, sitting in the chair. And he said, what's happening? I said, well, you know, I just want to know, you know, like every time I'm getting ready to fight and whatnot, you know, I get these butterflies in my stomach. And then he leaned back and he said, oh, don't worry about that. He said, that's just not knowing what the outcome is going to be. And that was so, it gave me ease.
Yeah,
because, you know, I didn't want to be like, is it because I'm scared? I'm fighting all the time. I'm having a good time. You know, what is it?
He said, I'm a prep you. You be all right. But I know a lot of the tournaments, and even in our dojo, we spar, we work hard. We did a lot of create things.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so many different competitions. What's that? Not Sunnyside Garden, it's another garden. But they used to hate see us come. When they GM and us come, they like, oh no, they're here again. But he have a tournament every month. We bang our shins or whatever. People don't think we're going to show. We come in and fight. I remember one fight was at some tournament. Ernest Hines. Yeah. He got so aggravated, Jim. I think he thought it was cheating. You know how the rings are built in the garden, like. Yeah. He got so mad. He called himself jumping out the ring. My man feet hit the boom. I didn't mean to laugh. I was trying to hold back my laugh, but I was in tears. I'm like, but we used to have some rough times, man. I mean, the fights was like, it was like a really like, I'm gonna get you guys. I mean, it was no joke. It was like a serious. Right. This is your week, man. I'm getting you. It's like, okay, got to get it, right? But we used to have some rough times, but it was good. It was a growth. Tournaments today.
It was a growth period.
Like what we do. They wrap you up, put on the bubble suit, and you gotta fight. Yeah. Adhesive tape, remember Jam? Adhesive tape?
Yes.
If you want a mouthpiece, it's up to you. If you want a cup, it's up to you. And the ambulance inside. The ambulance stay busy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey Jam, the dude's fancy with the glasses on, right? I said, yo, man, you should take them. They carried my glasses all cocked. They carried my. Yeah, most of the times in the tournament, you almost scored your own point. I mean, when you got hit, you can hit it in the stadium, boom. You know, and the guy's like, the judge say no point. Excuse me, sir. That was a point. You know, no one to get hit. Right. But you know, the thing with Doc, though, you know, he had a way and working with us to keep us where that, like what you was getting the butterflies, and then you learn how to orchestrate the butterfly into your chi positive point.
Yes, so sir.
That butterfly no longer became butterfly.
That's right.
Where you could explode from that butterfly. So it works in different ways. And when you see them sit back on the wall with a smile still on the face, you like, did he hear what I just say? So you better not do nothing different. So all of that is teaching, a teaching thing that we learned. And
that was the name of the game. Teach.
Yeah. So we built a lot, you know. And I remember one class, you're gonna laugh, I said this before. Professor V, Doc was working out. So we were all sitting down watching, you know?
Yes.
Doc attacked Professor V. Professor V moved, right? So when he hit Doc, you see Doc almost passed out. You know, he pop him, he come back. We wasn't laughing, but was like, you know,
right,
man. Man, almost called ambulance. He bust everybody up in the dojo. But Professor V, man, I remember me and Jim did a thing in California, man. Remember TNT?
Yes, sir.
No. The people's, I don't know what they was waiting for. He got you first or me first, I don't know.
Right. It was me.
And you can hear the sound in the audience. You know, I'm like, people looking. I'm in the, you know, I'm gonna clap, idiot, you know. And he caught me, I think, across my fingers. Or you can feel it. I don't have to say it.
Right.
Me and Jim looking at each other, boy, but the work that they did with us. And that's why I said, as far as representing them, you're always going to see that in us. You always hear their names. People now, as you said before, you would think that they never had a teacher, which is a mistake, you know? So hesitant to say where you come from or go through a front, we call it. It's always going to be the truth going to prevail. So it's nothing you're going to hide anytime. And whatever you do. So if you don't hear it or you just say like you can't hear what we're saying, our actions speak for them.
Yeah.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And what I like to ask, I'd like to ask the Imam. You know what I mean? Now there's the master, but then there's the Imam.
Yes, sir.
And in terms of that, what do you feel you know that coming from the martial arts and being a spiritual advisor, a teacher in Islam, how does it relate, the training that you received and that?
Well, that's a very good question, Grandmaster. Very good question. And as I grew in martial arts, and as I grew and became more knowledgeable of my deen, Islam, I began to see there was really no separation, you know, or very little separation, if anything, because the Quran, our holy book, the Quran, it speaks about being being patiently persevering. And in martial arts, if you don't learn anything else, one thing you should learn is how to be patient and how to persevere. Yes. And it just seems to me like Islam was made for the martial arts was made for Islam.
Yes.
I'm able to appreciate more and more and more how much martial arts, especially the Sanuces style, how it has impacted me and my understanding of my deen. It's been a tremendous one-to-one relationship for me, and I'm just very grateful for. And I thank Allah. I thank Allah for having met Professor Moses Powell and my developing the way that I have in the years since Islam, since I came into the deen. It's so far just been a beautiful journey, and learning and as you said about Abdul Musawwir, may Allah have mercy on his soul and grant him paradise. As he became more proficient in his art, in his skills, he became more humble, soft-spoken, walked very quietly. He was the epitome of what a martial artist is supposed to be. And it's just sad today. And you, GM, you have that same character. You know, you're humble. You carry yourself with humility and humbleness. And too many of our martial artists today just don't have the right spirit. Nope. You know, they're not humble enough. It's just, it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
I'm with you on that.
I was at a tournament about maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, and some of the leaders, some of the teachers of their school, they were walking around all huffy and arrogant, and it was just, you know, it was terrible. Yeah, I walked out.
Yeah, it's a shame.
That's going back to what both of you have been saying in this broadcast, in this podcast, and in other podcasts, that we've just got to be able to walk the walk, and just can't not just talk the talk. You gotta humbleness, man. You gotta know what a real martial art is all about, man.
Yeah.
It's more than just knowing the techniques and how to hurt somebody. It's more than that. It's bigger than that. Much bigger than that. Right. Any fool can hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You got to know when to, like the Quran says, you got to lower your wing. You got to know when to lower your wing.
Yeah.
So I just find it so hard for us to get this message across. And I really appreciate Soke because he keeps the VSKPs going. Professor V right in the front, then Sanuces, and the the Kumite. I mean, you got to remember the roots. You got to remember where you began, and if you don't do that, you're not doing a service for the art.
No, not at all. I
That's
remember
beautiful.
I went to the mosque a couple of times with Uncle. I surprised him. I came one time. So
you sure did.
And he speak totally Arabic, totally through the whole class. I mean, it was like, I looked, I heard it, I felt it. I said, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything else. If you love it, then you try to be the best that you can be.
Yes.
So it's no sense in you getting into martial art and somehow you love it if you're not going to train, if you're not going to try to get better and better and better, not for the belt, but for the knowledge and to know what the spiritual essence is of martial arts. The spiritual component for martial arts is much greater than the physical component, much greater, much more important. And I have to credit with Islam. But I give credit to Islam for helping me to keep on growing, and understanding just how important it is with humility and being grateful. Golly, man, if we don't,
it's just frozen right now. It should come back in a minute.
Okay.
But I was telling GM, I said, I find it critical to have you to come on because as far as history is concerned, you go back in the day, when I was a little small.
Yes.
And you always been around anything to support. You always been the type, anything anyone could do that you could do for them, you never said no. So you always kept positive.
I love my people. Yeah. I love my people. And that was taught to me by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I learned the Nation of Islam is just, oh God, it just did so much for me. And I tell you, I mentioned once about when we were in training in Harlem at 125th Street, number 1.
Right.
It was my responsibility and my pleasure to drive Doc home, and all the way out to Brooklyn, and it was just beautiful because we became friends.
Right.
We became friends. We shared so much. And as Allah would have it, one night coming back from Brooklyn, I'm on the Grand Central Parkway, getting ready to approach Triborough Bridge. And what happened was my vehicle went into a spin.
Wow.
I mean, a spin.
Wow.
And Allah is my witness. I spun around maybe 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
And all I could see was lights coming at me. But as Allah would have it, when I stopped spinning, my vehicle was heading towards the Triborough Bridge. None of the cars touched me.
Wow.
And I came away from that scot-free.
Wow.
Allahu Akbar.
That's only God. Only God
That's
could
right.
Do that. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
Only God could do that. So, I didn't attribute to any driving skills or anything like that. I didn't attribute it to luck. I attribute it to God was just giving me a message about I need to just be taking care of myself a little better, because I was driving fast. Ain't no that. Ain't no sense in me trying to sugarcoat that. You know, yeah, I was a speeder. I was a speeder. I thought I was a safe driver, but I was a speeder. And so I got a real lesson out of that. And
you want to get there quick, right on? You want to get there quick.
2, 3.
I remember Doc, Heavy said Doc from the Bronx.
Big Doc.
Yeah, remember? So we up in the Bronx, Soundview Projects. So we all in the car, and Doc said, Dr. Powell was saying, listen, I want some White Castle burgers. So I'm like, in the back, I was like, yeah, right? And we get up there, Doc get about maybe 25 or 30 for himself. He asked me, did I want something? I said, he gave me 2 burgers, man. He only gave me 2 burgers. I was like, I'm trying to make it straight. You know, take little bites. I'm trying to make it. Doc was like, I was like,
yeah, he had quite an appetite.
I was like, but he loved his White Castle. We used to work out hard.
White Castle, that's right.
Yeah, I'd be hungry, boy. I was like, come on, 2 burgers. Come on, what about 10 burgers? You know, you got to get thrown around and busted up and everything. But I said, hey, it's a blessing. But we used to have some wild times. I mean, it's just the things that you.
Soke, do you remember Bigend in New York? Our friends that had the a resort up there.
Up in Peg Lay Bakes?
No, further up in the Catskills. It's called Sisters Horizon.
I think so. It's wild though.
Yeah, because the professor, he came up a few times, did some training up there, along with Sadiq Abdul Latif.
Oh, okay.
You know, Lorenzo,
yeah, Lorenzo Davis.
Yeah. We would be up there and we'd be training up in the Catskills. Beautiful.
Yeah. I remember one time though, I don't know, it might have been up there, I'm not sure. Freezing cold water, you know? So we work out, we go walk around the pool. So Doc was like, jump in. Jump in. I thought he was joking. I'm like, he said, you look. I said, jump in. Okay. By the time I hit that water, everything went from. Yeah, when I got in the pool, I'm like this.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, but he knew nothing was going to hurt, you know, but it's just like, you can do it. You know, set your mind, you can do it.
Mind over matter. That's right.
Yeah, when he told me to jump in, I said, is he for real? But he didn't smile. You know, he said,
he was definitely for real.
Yeah. So he gave that look and said, okay. But the thing with him is that what he installed spiritually is that be the best. That's right. What you're supposed to do. Don't just have it. A lot of people say they train under GM. They say they train, they use that name.
Yes.
The thing that when you say you train, the action speaks. I should be able to go to any dojo, any GM students or my students. They don't have to have a patch on. When they start doing the first workout, I know where you train. That's speaking. That's speaking for us, you know. But
not saying, beautiful?
Yeah, not saying I have to make an announcement. I train with Grandmaster Azziz. Yeah, well, you got to say that. I know already. You know, but now, if you look back, you told me that you train with GM. I'm gonna bust you up first, and then I'm gonna go back to GM because you represent.
You gotta show him why you got busted up.
Yeah. What did you say? So you must not look like you should have looked. And I'm gonna bust you up. So you got 2 bust up going, you know. So like I said, as long as people cue in spiritually and start focusing on that, the thing that I look at, you know, like God rest him. Monroe Mao, these are warriors. We lost a lot of warriors. This is hard.
And what about, and don't forget about Hanshi Sharif Wali.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot,
that's a big loss. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you knew him too, right? Didn't you, brother?
Absolutely. I mean, since I was a little boy as well in the
That's
nation.
right. He used to come out to Chicago sometimes to train with y'all.
Well, no, but no, I was in New York.
Oh,
I came up in New York, John 81.
Oh, that's right. That's who he was. John 81. You got him. You got him. Wow. Yeah, that was a tremendous loss too. And then the Aikido master, Lukman Abdul Hakim.
Oh yes.
Over 30 years, man. And we came up, we trained up, and we studied together. We trained together in the nation.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
It was just the picture the other day.
We lost a lot of heavyweights.
Yeah, I saw the picture. Doc in his FOI uniform. He's standing.
Yeah.
You know, I said, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had them working, boy. They look at his face. They like, don't say nothing. You better listen.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna hit you. Then he say something. Not move. Not move. He's gonna hit you to make you move. So
absolutely.
Well, this is a lot. And like I said, you know, we just have to focus, maintain, and keep it real. You know, Jim.
Yes, we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'll say that. You know, first of all, I want to thank you all for just being present. You know, because so many of the giants, and I'm saying giants in a good way. You know,
I understand.
Great persons who have statures that, you know, I look up to, and I appreciate you all for being that, and I pray, you know, to Allah that others see and want to experience the beauty from you all and learn from you all, so that one, as you mentioned, Master Shabazz, you mentioned the humbleness, humility.
Absolutely.
You know, see, if we are humble and have humility, it doesn't matter who's in the room. We all, it doesn't matter who's in the room. We all are equal in that sense, and have no problem with another man being better in his actions. But, you know, the real beauty, as you mentioned too, is the beauty inside of yourself, you know, that you have a wonderful connection with the Creator. And, you know, that's where the blessings come. And we can, these little ignorant little situations that we have in our lifetime, it's like when your lifetime is over, it means nothing.
Exactly.
It means nothing. Our little short period of time, you know, that we've been in here, and we pray that we can hang out as long as you.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm blessed, but you're right. It's a short period of time, because the other part of that is, look how long you're going to be dead.
That's right. That's right. You know, the minister said that we come from an infinity of time into our small period of time.
Absolutely.
And when we leave, we go back into infinity, another infinity of time. So the time that we spend, right here, is what is so important for us. And our question, and a great question for us is, will we leave a legacy?
That's the key word.
Will we leave a legacy?
That's the key word. That's the key question.
But if the legacy that we could leave and should leave, and I pray that, you know, and I'm going to continue, as we and Soke and all of us are going to continue to bring unity and to bring people to the table so that we can establish unity.
Yes,
and,
sir.
Of course, you know, we pray that we can.
Yes,
but
sir.
we're not going to stop if we do not, because all that do come and all that do accept, those are the ones that are going to be a part of the legacy. You know, I remember the conversation or or about the coals in the fire.
Yes.
You have all of these coals together in the pit or in that wherever. As long as they're together, they will stay lit.
Absolutely.
But if you separate them,
yep,
that one will become cold. And I pray that I don't get separated from you all and the rest of the coals that are lit. And I pray that Allah blesses me to help nurture and this all of the coals that are together. You know,
sure
we can't do anything about the others. So
I'm sure he will. I'm sure, because you're on a good track for that, brother. You're on a very good track for that. Yeah, you're special. And I told Soke all the time, I love to see you and he when y'all work out. The unity, the love that y'all have for each other, and y'all just seem to be in such synchronization. I mean, it's so beautiful. And I know y'all don't practice that. It's just natural. It just flows. Y'all are blessed. You're blessed.
I don't care how long I don't see him, but when we get together and there's some glitch, I work him with a glitch, unglitch yourself, because he almost get hit. He's, oh yeah, I remember us. Yeah, I want to ask something very unusual, and I know you normally don't do that, but I would like for the Imam, for Uncle, to say a prayer for us before we close over. That'd be all right?
That'd be awesome. That's for everyone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm honored. I'm honored, and certainly I cannot turn that down. I will not turn that down. One of my favorites really is us, time.
Yes.
And
it's mine too.
Yeah, all right. Well, we got that in common. That's something else we have in common. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walas. Inna sana lafi kus. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu as-salihat. Wa tawassa bil haqq. Wa tawassa bis sabr. Sadaqallahu azim. By the time, in the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, by the token of time, surely man is at loss except those who believe and do good, and exhort one another to truth, and exhort one another to patience. Ameen, ameen, ameen.
Thank you. God is the greatest. Thank you very much, both of you. You know, I'm just so happy and blessed that, you know, I have the opportunity to again sit at your feet and listen to the stories that you all have of Dr. Moses Powell, who I loved and love.
Yes, you proved that. You proved how much you love him.
Thank you, Soke.
And this is my Uncle Shabazz. Osa.
I love you so much, my nephew and my grandmaster, Abdul Azziz.
Thank you. Love you both. All right, everybody, listen. Here we go. We had another one. You seen it for yourself. Enjoy it because it's yours. Don't look at it like it's somebody else's. It is yours. It is yours to appreciate, to love. And if anyone shares anything negative, all you have to do is ask yourself, did you feel negative or did you feel positive? Did you feel blessed or did you feel cursed? Whatever that is what it is. So don't let anybody else help you to think for yourself. You heard it for yourself, and you heard it among these giants here. Thank you again. Make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can always be on top of it and you can always get it. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day and evening.
And you as well, beloved. And thank you again for the invitation. And keep up the great work.
I will. Thank you. Thank you. Inshallah.
Yes, welcome.
All right. It's okay.
I love you.
Okay, so good, my nephew. God bless.
Every student of a master here today You reflect your master teacher. You want to walk like him. You want to talk like her. But you start by having an object in front of you that you admire.